Okay, let's talk about one of the most timeless fables you've probably ever heard, Belling the Cat. Now, on the surface, it seems like a simple little story, but its lesson is just so incredibly powerful, especially if you've ever had a brilliant idea and then slammed right into the wall of actually trying to make it happen.
This quote right here, it just absolutely nails the heart of what we're digging into today. We're going to break down that critical, and let's be honest, often terrifying, gap between having a fantastic plan and finding the raw courage it takes to actually go out and do it. All right, so the story kicks off in these dark, shadowy corners of a house. You've got this whole community of mice, and they are living under constant siege. They're not just scared, they're completely paralyzed by this one overwhelming threat that stalks them day and night.
And what's so cool about this story is that these aren't just characters, right? They're archetypes, figures we see everywhere in our own lives. You have the fearful group, that overwhelming threat, the young idealist who comes in with a big, flashy idea. And of course, you've got the wise elder who's there to bring everybody back down to earth.
And look, this wasn't just some small problem for them, no way. This was a full-blown existential crisis. The fear was so suffocating, it was basically shutting down their entire lives. And it's this total desperation that finally pushes them to get together and try to find some kind of solution. And then, right in the middle of all this hopelessness, you get that classic light bulb moment. A solution is put on the table that seems so simple, so, well, perfect, that it feels like it's going to solve everything in one elegant little move.
So a young mouse stands up, all confident, and lays it out. And the plan? It seems completely flawless in its logic. Look, he says, it's just 4 simple steps. We get a bell, we put it on the cat, and boom, we've got an early warning system. I mean, what could possibly go wrong with that?
And the reaction is just immediate euphoria. They're totally blown away, overjoyed. They start celebrating the idea itself, just completely captivated by how brilliant and simple it is. As far as they're concerned, the problem is already solved.
But you know what's coming, right? Right in the middle of all the high fives and the cheering, the whole mood is about to just crater. A single voice cuts through the noise, and everything is about to change. And there it is. The old mouse, the voice of wisdom and experience, asks the one question that nobody, and I mean nobody, wanted to think about. It's such a simple but devastating question, and it exposes the plan's single fatal flaw. So here's the crucial point. The plan wasn't a failure because it was a bad idea. It was a great idea. It failed because it completely ignored the one terrifying step that required real, actual courage. This is that chasm, that massive gap between a great theory on paper and the personal risk it takes to make it real.
Okay, so how does this ancient story actually play out all around us today? Well, the truth is, we all have cats in our lives. Those big, intimidating, scary tasks that sit right at the heart of our best-laid plans.
I mean, just think about it. In your personal life, the cat might be the pain of making that very first, difficult sacrifice to get your finances in order. In a group, it's volunteering for that thankless job that nobody wants to do. And at work, oh yeah, it's having that one terrifying but absolutely necessary conversation that everyone else is avoiding. The pattern is exactly the same.
And we just fall into these traps over and over again, don't we? We kind of just assume someone else will be the hero. We pat ourselves on the back for coming up with the plan, not for actually doing anything. We get lost in all the tiny details because it's easier than facing that one big scary thing. We choose comfort over the courage that's actually required.
You know, the source material frames this in an even deeper way. It connects it to that timeless idea that faith without works is dead. The plan, that's your faith, right? It's that belief in a better future. But the action, the work, well, that's the sacrificial step that makes it real. And without that sacrifice, the belief is pretty much meaningless.
So how do we break this cycle? How do we become the one who doesn't just admire the plan from the sidelines, but actually takes the risk to make it all happen?
Well, the first step is a huge mindset shift. We have to really, truly absorb this crucial lesson. An imperfect plan that you actually get done is 1,000,000 times better than some perfectly theorized plan that just sits on a shelf collecting dust. Execution is the whole ballgame.
And this is such a powerful commitment to make to yourself. It's like a promise to stop designing these perfect plans that just so happen to require zero personal sacrifice from you. It's about building plans that are grounded in reality, plans that acknowledge from the get-go that there will be a cost, a risk, and that it's required from you.
And ultimately, it really just comes down to this one choice. In the meetings and the councils of your own life, when that brilliant idea is on the table, Are you going to be just another voice in the cheering crowd? Or are you going to be the one who quietly raises a hand and says, "I'll do it. I'll bell the cat"?
So the challenge this fable leaves us with is crystal clear. It's time to stop just talking about the cat. It's time to identify that one essential, maybe terrifying task that's standing between you and your goal. Find your bell and go commit to the risk.